Hi, this is Eliza Inkberry with Horticulture 101 Gothic Gardening at Darkside University. I'm doing an extra video based on a student request on growing herbs. Herbs are really easy to grow. They're one of the easiest things. They're great. They are culinarily useful. They attract beneficial insects. They have very small flowers usually, and the small flowers are the right size for the majority of predatory and pollinating insects to get their mouth parts into to get the nectar out of them, and that's why they're so good for that purpose. Um, Most of them like to have well-drained soil, so raised beds are a good option if you have heavy soils or if you have a lot of water logging. And this article with Purdue Extension is a great article on specific herbs. If you have one that you want to know exactly how to grow, I recommend this as a good starting point. And so, the basic herbs, the only thing that I would recommend is that you're careful about where you put your oregano and thyme because both of those will spread quite a bit. And I strongly recommend putting mint in pots on top of concrete or a paving stone or something to prevent it from escaping out the bottom. I don't really recommend planting mint in the landscape unless you have some sort of hardscaping element that's going to contain it because it can get away from you and cause a big problem. Um, and the rest of them are going to be fairly easy. So if you want something unusual, I chose Richter's as the first catalog to show you because it does have versions for a lot of different countries, and I know some of you are not from the US. They have a huge selection, at least in the US. I assume they do everywhere, and I recommend looking through that and seeing if you see anything that you'd like to try. They sell both plants and seeds. If you're not really used to starting seeds, it's good to start with plants. And then Horizon Herbs is more local to me, and I do a lot of my ordering from them. And they have some great selections of things. So those are two really good sources, or you could find your herbs local to you. Um, so what I want to recommend, and definitely along the lines of trying to come up with a goth herb bed, aside from the fact that you're going to be having your own sort of apothecary and you can use them medicinally and things like that. And that's a great thing, but I was thinking along the lines of the herb spiral, which is a major feature in permaculture landscapes. It combines a large amount of growing space into a small bed. And with herbs that spread a lot, this keeps them from bullying each other too much or from getting out into the rest of the garden and so on. And it just kind of looks cool. But I was thinking about how it's got this rock edging, and that in itself I think would look great in a goth garden. But I was trying to think of some other ways you could edge this that might make it more interesting. And so, you could have options to do some interesting brick stacking if you wanted to take just like a segment of this, or maybe you could find a bunch of concrete headstones or kind of small ones, or you could make your own. You could use little statues that would fit together well. They'd need to be able to press up against each other so the soil wouldn't get through. If you could find some tiles or blocks or concrete pieces that kind of had some interesting goth patterns on it, or perhaps you could even get some curved bricks and lay it in a spiral pattern that would look kind of similar to the base of this fountain. And then this is actually just stuccoed and painted, I think, and you could do a short version of that and maybe even have like, the kind of the shapes and patterns on the top of the wall there. Or you could put the you could build it out of, say, stepping stones or flat bricks or even cinder blocks, and then put pebbles in a pattern on the side of it. Just kind of glue them on or use some sort of outdoor landscaping adhesive. And I liked this idea a lot. This seems like a really good option. I mean, even if you just have regular bricks or stone, you could do this. But there's a lot of different bricks and stones. This is dry stacking. If you look up how to dry stack a wall, it's an ancient technique, really common in Europe. Um, and you could use slate, either machined to be nice and uniform, or the I'm trying to think of a word, but basically not machined, so it's still got rough edges. And then you could use kind of darker bricks or so on. And anyway, that's just some ideas on how to make an herb spiral, and how to grow herbs. If you have any more questions about it, just let me know.